Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lesson 15 of Positive Youth. Thank you very much for those who raised such great questions from our last section, Self-Efficacy. So at our last section, we talked about the 4 sources of self-efficacy that Dr. Bandura concluded after decades of research in this area. So basically, first one's pretty easy to understand. You master some skills, that'll give you, just like the winner's effect, that'll affect your future outlook on other challenges. If you had lots of winning experience or mastery experiences, and you're going to be more likely to believe in yourself when you face new challenges. And the second one was vicarious experience. Some students were asking, they didn't quite understand. Put it very easily, it's others are showing self-efficacy, and you observe that, especially your peers. If you have friends who always put in good effort and then get good results, you observe that, and you're going to internalize that, and seeing that, oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. I work hard, everything's within my control. If I give it up, I wouldn't achieve. But if I put in more effort, I can make a difference. So that kind of observation will help you to believe in self-efficacy. The third one is verbal persuasion, that we need help from your parents. They need to be more positive and encouraging when you face challenges, and they help you to point out that, well, you can do this, and I believe in you, and this is what happened in the past, and I truly believe that you can overcome this. And so those social support will definitely help the build up of self-efficacy. The last one was physiological arousal, which means, for example, we all experience stress. When we talked about the upside of stress in the previous lessons, how we look at the stress make a huge difference. So maybe today is April 1st, we heard from our governor in California that California public schools are going to remain closed until the end of the school year. And when you hear that, we all feel kind of stressed because, wow, oh my God, for the next almost 2.5 months, we won't be able to see our friends or our teachers, and what are we going to do? And we're not going to learn as much. And so that if you feel like the pounding of your heart or the rush of the blood to your brain, and then you feel your hands are sweaty, how do you interpret that? So like Dr. Kelly McGonigal said, that if you look at the stress and feel like that's one way that your body's ready and alerted for new challenges, then you're going to do very well. But if you look at those symptoms, the same symptoms, same physiological symptoms, and saying that, oh, I'm scared, I'm worried, oh, I will not be able to learn as much, completely different outcome. So in other words, if you can look at those physiological symptoms or interpret, if you can explain those things in different lights, that's going to lead to different kind of behaviors and performance. If you look at that in a positive light, have a positive outlook, no matter what challenge you have in front of you, you're going to develop a self-efficacy. A repeated that experience will help you to have a very strong self-efficacy and lead to very strong performance. So those are the 4 sources of self-efficacy. There was one student who raised a very good question. Said, what should I do if I don't feel happy when looking at what I have accomplished? I've worked with many students in that area who had similar thoughts. Just like we said, the mastery experience, which means we achieved something. But then there are students who look at that and don't feel happy about it. I had to give you an example about one of our advanced math students. So things happens in many other areas too. No matter how much they achieve, they don't feel happy about themselves. That we also need help from your parents, and that we need to have an atmosphere where we are recognized for what we did right. If we accomplish something, take a picture or take a video or review it and saying that, wow, last year at Science Expo, we did so well. Our team worked together. We're so fast and accurate. We got, regional champion. That was just amazing. So have a chance to savor what our accomplishments or our successful experiences are. That will give us a sense of accomplishment, help us to understand, experience that we do have the strong side of us. And we can't just ignore that, only focus on things we need to improve. We all have areas that we need to improve on, but we also need to recognize what we did right. How about every day? Find out 3 things that you did right and you're proud of. Recognize that. In the past, we had we had done assignments like find 3 things your parents did right and make sure that you compliment them. This time, I want you to think about 3 things you did right each day and make sure you write it down or talk about it or just share with your parents that, today I'm very proud of myself. I had a headache. I still got up and met with my class online at 10 o'clock and took the math test. So be proud of that. So that shows your conscientious attitude towards learning. Make sure that you share that with your parents so they recognize your accomplishments as well. Make sure that they always recognize that. And once that become a habit, you will feel more and more positive about yourself. Today, we're going to continue the second section of the last part of positive self, which is best possible self. So where did that come from? That came from this book. I really love this book. When you get a chance, it's another recommended reading by Dr. Sonia Lombomsky. She is one of the top scholars in positive psychology. I really love this book. It's a good summary of decades of research in positive psychology and in, leading us to getting the life we want. So one of the experiments that Dr. Lombomsky did was best possible self. Well, actually, she called that best possible selves because she did it with an experiment group and a control group, and she asked half of the people in her experiment to write down. First of all, imagine your life 1, 5, or 10 years from now. Visualize a future for yourself in which everything for yourself, everything had turned out the way you wanted. Consider all relevant areas of your life, such as your career, academic work, relationships, hobbies, and health. What would happen in those areas of your life in your best possible future? And then for 15 or 20 minutes, write continuously about what you imagine this best possible future to be. And she asked everybody to be as specific as you can. And then for the other group, they just write down what they did today. So no imagination of best possible self. And then continuously, she did the experiment for 5 weeks. So every day you take about 20 minutes or so to write down your best possible self. But first you imagine. And then 5 weeks later, she found out that those group of people who wrote down the best possible self journaling exercise, who did this exercise, the positive emotions were raised significantly versus those who just write down 5 things they did that day, did not change their positive emotions at all. So this is a very good reminder that when we have a goal, it really helps us to feel better about what we're doing right now. So that's the assignment for this lesson too. But before we can reach that best possible self, I do want to point out the other side is along your journey of growth, you are going to face unexpected changes or unexpected disappointments, unplanned failures, of course. Just like what we have to go through this next few months, nobody ever imagined that the whole school system had to close due to the virus. So we have to deal with the changes. Life is not always just blue sky and bright sunshines. In order to reach our full potential and to reach our best possible self, I want to point out to another factor that's very critical to that. That is resilience. Resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress, such as what we're going through right now. It involves not only bouncing back from those difficult experiences, but also involve profound personal growth. How do you look at this current stress, the school closure? Do you feel that that's permanent, pervasive, or take it even personally? Or you think that's external, specific, and it's temporary? So I want you to take a look. Again, going back to optimism or pessimism, fixed mindset or growth mindset. So if you look at changes or stressful events as opportunity for you to make profound personal growth, then you are ready for the challenge and you are more likely to reach your best possible self soon. So what's behind resilience? And I feel like I'm repeating myself because you see similar information under self-control, you see similar information under also the other things that we talked about, such as willpower. First of all, you take good care of yourself. We are at our best. We can face setbacks the strongest when we take good care of ourselves. So, for example, what does that include? You have a healthy diet, you eat the nutritious food, you sleep well, 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and you exercise each day. Take good care of yourself. Once you get those down, you're 50% there. And then there are other things. For example, active problem solving. When you face a problem, you write down different ways and you know that you're in control. And also maintain a positive outlook. That's what we talked about in the section of optimism. How do you look at changes? There are different ways will determine the outcome, just like the self-efficacy, the same thing. Also social support. We need your parents to be supportive, especially when we face frustrations. That's why one student mentioned that, oh, my mom or my dad always compare me with others. That's very discouraging. So we need to let them know that we need to compare vertically with our own progress, not horizontally with other people, because it's unfair to compare our weakness with others' strength. So social support, you need your friends to support you in in this stressful situation of shelter in place. Make sure that you connect with your friends on social media. Make sure that you understand you are part of a body who are all facing this together. You're not alone. So social support will help us to bounce back from our setbacks much faster. And the last area is meaning and purpose. That's the last 3 lessons. We're going to talk about that, how meaning and purpose will help us to be more resilient, help us to be stronger in facing changes and frustrations or disappointments. All right. Thank you so much for turning to this lesson. And today's assignment, as I share with you, is the best possible self journaling exercise. You don't need to do like Dr. Lombonsky did 5 weeks. Just to try it for 3 weeks. I want every day, take about 15 minutes, imagining your best possible self when everything worked out exactly the way you wanted. Where do you want to be? And this actually is the same as the questions that Harvard asked on college application websites. They ask you what kind of person you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, 25 years, or 10 years. So just this will be a good preparation for writing that college application essay. So think about yourself, and so what's the best possible self, and that would set up a goal. And of course, we have other measures such as a middle range goal and daily goal. So all this will help us to lead us to the best possible self. But first of all, we do need to set up the long-term goal, our best possible self. Maybe you can start with this week just in 1 year. In 1 year, what's your best possible self? And then next week, you can do in 5 years, what's your best possible self? And then the third week, you can do in 15 years, what's my best possible self in 10 years? So think about that and write about it. And each day, maybe you can write about one thing. Like in 1 year, what would be my academic performance be? Or what would it be in 10 years? What would it be my best possible career? Or possibly how about my relationship? In 10 years, what kind of relationship do you want to be in? So all this will help us to look at ourselves in a different light, knowing that, oh yes, we can make a difference. I'm building my own future, and I have a direction that I'm going towards. So hopefully you like this. You find this interesting, because Dr. Lombonsky found out that those people who find it interesting and meaningful gain the most from it. They raise their positive emotion the most significantly compared with other people who find it not useful. So give it a try, because this was verified by several different similar researches. Thanks again for following up with this mini course. We have 3 more lessons to go under the section of meaning. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.